Hello, my name is Crystal. Thanks for tuning in today to our Long and Short of It Bible study. Please share this with your friends or family, like and subscribe. Today I'll be discussing Mark chapter 7. Jesus is teaching about inner purity. Chapter 7 begins with the Pharisees and some of the teachers of the law. They came from Jerusalem to investigate Jesus, to see what he and his disciples were up to. When they found Jesus, they did not like what they saw. Jesus' disciples were eating food with their hands that were unclean. Back then, the Pharisees and the Jews did not eat anything unless they gave their hands a ceremonial washing, which is holding to many other ceremonial traditions that were in no way honoring God or considered biblical. They were simply traditions of the elders. In verses 14 through 23, Jesus is gathering the crowd together. He's telling the crowd that nothing outside a person can defile them by going into them. Rather, it is what comes out of the person that defiles them. Jesus' main point focuses on ceremonial unclean hands or foods that do not affect your heart. It's not what you put in your body, but what comes out of your heart that matters to God. Jesus lists the many evils that come from inside and make a man unclean. To name a few is sexual immorality, theft, murder, and adultery. After I read this chapter, I was thinking about the first week into the stay-at-home order. I remember thinking it would be a great time to meal plan and eat healthier, organic foods. And so my main focus or my main priority was to make sure that I was feeding my family healthy meals. I had more time to shop, plan, and meal prep. Now, while being concerned about eating healthy was a good thing, I didn't think about how important it is to pay attention to what goes into my mind. I was tuning into the news, and I did this every day throughout the day. I grew more and more fearful, sad, and frustrated that COVID-19 has changed how we do life so drastically. There's so many uncertainties, so many unknowns, and to top it all off, I was angry and sad that we had to cancel our summer trip to Disney World. Our family was so looking forward to that trip. Such a bummer. So I'll be honest, my anger and sadness came out sideways. This definitely affected my family. I was not as patient with them, I had a bad attitude, and I was moody. While I had good intentions to feed myself and my family healthy meals, I was putting junk food into my mind. I was not focused on my spiritual and mental wellness. So what was coming out of my heart was no good. I can't be content with just eating healthy. I needed to seek God in the moments when I needed comfort, peace, joy, healing, and hope. I needed to align my heart with God's word. As the days went on, I made a switch in my priorities. I turned off the TV and I spent less time watching the news. I began reading the book of Psalms with my team. And then in the moments when I felt sad, I would seek God and I'd pray and I would invite him into whatever I was walking through. I would like to challenge you to spend some time reading chapter 7, Mark chapter 7, and journal about what Jesus is teaching you, and then share this video with a friend or a family member and discuss this question. As were the Pharisees, are you focused more on outwardly honoring God than working on your inner purity, your heart? And which do you care for more diligently? Also, find time this week to pray. Ask God to help you commit your heart to align your thoughts in a way where you're honoring him and obeying his commands and seeking his help by living in his word alone. So in the long and the short of it, Jesus is more concerned about mindset and thought process than about food laws. What you put in your body does not affect your inner purity, and that sin begins in the attitudes and intentions of the inner person. What comes out of your heart, that's what matters to God.